All right, so we're going to talk about online applications. This is a fairly new thing in BNI. So if you're new to leadership, or if you're new to a chapter, or you've been around a while and have been used to just dealing with paper, then this is going to be some great news for you. So I'm going to walk through this process, make sure that everybody understands it. So before we get started, I'm not going to be in a PowerPoint the whole time. We're actually going to do this together in BNI Connect. But this right here, this is what a perfect online new member application would look like. In a perfect world, what happens is a member goes and a potential member goes and they submit their application. They'll get an email saying, yes, we received it. Then a day later, the vice president and the director get a notification saying, hey, guess what? You have a new member, go review this. Then hopefully that happens within 7 days. Remember, visitors want to be a part of that chapter, and keeping them on the hook. For 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 7 weeks, the member starts to get, that new member gets a little nervous at that point. So we try to get that done within about a week or so. Hopefully within a day or two, they actually go and pay for that. And then we go and the regional office is notified by that and they reconcile it. So in an ideal world, hopefully we can wrap all that up within about a week. So let's take a look at, what does this actually look like to the potential member out there that is making the application. So the way that somebody makes an application out there, there's a couple of ways, either from a link that's in their website. Some chapters can actually put what's called a QR code right within their PowerPoint for the meeting. But the easiest way is to actually use the link from one of the chapter websites. So I'm going to use my test region here, antarcticreferrals.com. All right, this is my Antarctica. I'm going to use my BNI BRR chapter. I'm going to go and find a chapter here, use the search, find the BRR chapter. Now, every chapter on their chapter detail page here, so this is the chapter detail page, or I can go to the chapter website. Either way, there is an Apply Now button here. There's an Apply Now button. All that applicant has to do is click that Apply Now, and they're going to put their email address in. They are going to have to prove that they're not a robot. Sometimes I pass this test, sometimes I don't. Let's see. Chimney, chimney, chimney. Yes. I've read the policy and click Submit. All right, so what happens next is that my good friend here is going to get an email asking them to continue the registration process. So let me go ahead and open up my Gmail here on a different window. So I've got my Gmail here, and we can see you are just a few clicks away from completing your BNI registration. Go ahead and register here. If I go ahead and click that, I'm going to now start the application process. Now, if the person has ever gone into BNI Connect before, meaning they registered as a visitor, or they registered for an open networking event, or any of the MSP, or anything in BNI before, or they were a past member, it's going to skip right to the application. So this person that I'm using, they have visited chapters a couple of times. So what it's saying is, hey, we see that you visited the BNI, you clicked to join the BNI BRR chapter, but you've also visited Polar Referrals and the BRR chapter on a different date. So which of the chapters would you like to apply to? They can go ahead and use this one, or if they want to, they could actually search for a different chapter. So if they got the wrong link, or if they got a generic link, they could go and search for any other chapter in the world that's using online applications here. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with the BNI BRR chapter and start the application form. So it remembers the details of this person. So this is a visitor that had come to the chapter, Freddie Krueger from Scary Time Incorporated. We're going to put in who invited you. Now, the who invited you is what's going to appear on the application. Keep in mind that by default, it's going to use the person that was given credit for inviting them on their last visit to that chapter. This is our way to verify that, though, once later on, to make sure that the right person did get credit. verify any additional information. Only things with an asterisk or a red dot are 100% mandatory, though of course we like the more information the better. Click next. At this point, they're going to choose, do I want to apply for a 12-month or 24-month membership? Keep in mind that they can change their mind later. Now, this might be a change to us long-term members that might have, had learned something different in the past with the paper application, but with the online application, let's say that they put in 12 months now, they'll be able to change their mind if they would like to later. They're going to let us know whether it's a company paid membership and who is the person that's going to be on the check or the credit card that is actually going to make the payment. This is really helpful, by the way, for the regional admin team, because a lot of times maybe I apply, but I'm using my company credit card or I'm using my wife's credit card. It's really hard to match that up in the reconcile list for the credit cards if we don't have the name of the person. It's also going to ask, do you have remaining credit? In other words, a certificate of credit from a past membership. And click next. The rest of this application, by the way, I'm just going to blow through and put some stuff in here. This is all exactly the same as a regular paper application that we've been using in all of our regions for many, many years. Has Freddie ever been convicted of a felony? Yes, a couple of times. All right, we're going to agree to the terms and conditions. I do agree. I agree to the code of ethics. Next. And this is kind of our version of an electronic signature. Click on the box, type your name, click on the box again. We can review and change any information up to this point if we would like to. Once we submit this application, it is locked in. All right, so it's locked in at that point for an application. If they need to make changes after they submit it, we would have to go and basically void it and allow them to submit a new application. All right, I'm going to click submit. And now what's going to happen is Freddie here is going to get an email. So if I go back to my email and go back to my Gmail, hey, Freddie, we have received your BNI application. Here's a PDF copy of it for you. So they can review that PDF copy, make sure that everything is correct. And a little note that says the application's received. We're now going to review it and take the next steps. At this point, what's going to happen is some of the emails, by the way, come out of BNI Connect and some come out of our other system called BNI Engage. Most of the emails that come from BNI Engage do have a 1-day delay on them. And that's why right now, after 1 day, the vice president and the director consultant is going to get that notification. So the next day, they will receive that notification. By the way, that might change. We are making tweaks to the system all the time, so we might be able to change that in the future so that they get it more instantly. But stay tuned for more information about that upgrade later. All right, so after the VP gets that, they then go in and review it. And for anybody that has been doing the, the whole online renewal process in their regions for years and years and years, this is exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and log into BNI Connect as one of my leadership team members, my vice president of the chapter, Marky Mark from the Funky Bunch. All right, and there he is, looking good in his tuxedo. And what we're going to do is go to Operations, and we can view pending applications under Manage Memberships. So view pending applications, it's going to show us all of our applications that are pending. So both online renewals as well as new applications. And you can see I use this chapter a lot for all various demonstrations. But I'm going to use the search bar up here, and we'll see that we have Freddie Krueger. Freddie Krueger here from the BNI Burr chapter. It is an online new application. It was input on the 2nd of October, and it's giving us the status of application is submitted, but now it needs to be reviewed. So this is where that membership committee review process comes in. Now, if there is the possibility that somebody might not complete the application, where they go in and let's say they fill out the first 2 pages, but they get to the references section. All right, so if they get to the references section and say, oh, you know what, I don't have this guy's phone number, I'm gonna need to come back to this later, and they bail out of it, it'll save their progress up to that point. But here, what you'll see in the list is a draft application. So we can't do anything with draft applications yet, except to go back and remind, in this case, John Lyle, hey, John, you know, you started your application on the 1st of September. Would you like to continue it? And hopefully get them to go and finalize that application. But let me go back to Freddie Krueger here. And Freddie Krueger, he has submitted it all the way. So we can either click where it says application submitted or click on the red arrow. And by the way, this is what your vice president is going to do. So you're going to have an offline or a Zoom meeting about this applicant. And then the vice president will go in and register the decision of the membership committee. So it's not a voting process per se in BNI Connect. But here you'll see all this, Freddie's individual history. We can see he's visited a couple of chapters. If he had a certificate of credit from a previous membership, we would see that here as well. And if we want to, we can review the application by clicking on the application form, which we can download. We can review all the questions and answers. And then we go back and we register our approval, or we can decline the application. If you decline the application, the member is not notified, okay? It is, we are not gonna send them a robo email, you know, telling them that they were declined from the chapter. That still needs to be done by whomever is designated to do that. In some areas, it might be the director consultant or the regional office. In some cases, it might be somebody from the chapter. The chapter will be notified, meaning the leadership team of the chapter and the regional office will be notified that they were declined, but that applicant is not notified. However, if you do approve them, then they're notified. So I went ahead and I approved Freddie Krueger here. And if I go back to my email, Freddie should get an email any second now. Congratulations, your membership in BNI Burr chapter has been approved. At which point, Freddie is going to be asked to submit his payment. It'll bring him right to the payment page. And if you recall before, I did say that they can change their mind once they get to this. So when you're approving somebody, keep in mind that you are approving them for membership, not necessarily approving them for only 12 months or for only 24 months. You're approving them as a member, and how long they decide to make their initial commitment will be up to them at this point. And keep in mind, let's say it takes you a week or two to process the application. They're like, you know what? I really, really like these guys. I want to commit myself to 2 years. That would be a great thing. And they get a discount. So 2-year commitment here is they can amend whether or not it's a company paid membership and then go ahead and pay now. They choose their payment option, and depending what they choose, they'll get instructions. You know, for example, if I choose check, oh, actually, you know what? Please don't send a check. We hate checks. All right, let me meet Jimmy in the back. No, let me choose other. Okay, so to pay by PayPal or whatever, we can, you know, copy and paste that link. Of course, we do prefer online credit cards whenever possible because that fully integrates the payment with BNI Connect. It makes it really easy for everybody if they just use a regular old-fashioned credit card. And then they go ahead and submit that. If we go back to our pending applications screen, we'll see that the status has changed again. And we'll see that the payment has been selected and it's approved. Payment selected means that, you know, Freddie has done his part in the payment process, but there is still one step left in this, and that is that the region does need to confirm it. So, you know, sometimes if they're, for example, let's say putting a check in, so we have to wait for the check to go in the mail and arrive at the office and deposit it, and then we go and we can approve it. Or match up the credit card to the actual payment and the number. And again, sometimes that can take a day or two. Once we do approve it, Freddie will become active. He can then log into the mobile app and the full BNI Connect. And also 1 day later, we'll get his login to BNI University, or BNI Business Builder, as it's going to be called going forward. And that's it. The process is complete at that point. So with that said, I see a whole bunch of questions have come in. So let me see if I can answer some of those questions about this process.
We've got quite a few questions here.
Steve, do you want to read them off?
Sure. Let's see. Anne Marie's asking, are we still using a paper app for PreCores, or are we online for those apps too? I can answer that one.
Yep.
Yes, we are going all online as of Monday morning. We're very excited about this. So you won't have to be chasing around those applications, which have been a problem. Okay.
You want me to show you where that is? So
yeah, sure.
The core group applications, because they don't have a chapter page yet, if you go to the chapters forming page, it'll show you all of the core groups. And the core groups, here's the freezing cold core, also have a registration to visit and apply now. So there's two things here on all of the core groups as well. So same exact process though.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, the ops team is putting a lot of new cores together because we are now going into core at 5 instead of 10.
Awesome.
So we'll get back into that in just a little bit on the launch side. So anyway, we heard that there was a change recently that waives the application fee for apps here in the core. Is there any BNI email template or anything that we can share via social media that we can use with prospective members? So this is another one where I don't know how the payment will work. I guess the ops team, Jeremy, will handle that.
So what'll happen is anybody that applies as of yesterday, anybody that submits their application starting yesterday just won't have an application fee when they go to pay. It's all automated, so that now through the the 31st, I guess, of December, that is just waived as part of the application process. So I think what they were also asking if there's any materials for promoting that, and that part I don't know.
So there's that one I kind of know. We're working with a social media company and our own little graphic designer who's putting together some of that stuff for you, which we'll have for you maybe in about a week or so, if all goes well. We'll leave it at that. What was the original link to begin the online application?
So that's actually unique per chapter. So let's say that you want to send the application over to somebody. So let's say your visitor came to visit and they're like, hey, yeah, I love the meeting. I'd love to submit an application. Well, instead of telling them to go to, oh yeah, by the way, go to bnisoutheast.com / my chapter / this / that, you can just send them the link, but you need to go get it from your chapter page. So for example, if you were in BNI Southeast, and let me just go and grab one of the chapters here. So let's say that you're in the, BNI Moore County Business. I could go to the chapter details page. And then what you can do is one of two things, or both. Click the Apply Now button, and you can copy and paste this link up here and send it to in an email. Or just tell them, listen, I'm going to send you a link for the application right now. Put their email address in. Prove to Google that you're not a robot, and it will send an application link directly to them. So whichever you want to do, but keep in mind that, see how it has up here, it says registration, blah, 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 chapter ID 2105. That is a unique application that, or a unique identifier just for this chapter. So it's important to use the one for your chapter.
Okay. Do you have to rescind the application and submit a new one if the applicant wants to change the membership term from 12 to 24 months?
Nope. You do not have to rescind the application. They get to make that choice and confirm that choice right before they pay.
Okay. If the application is in draft status, does the applicant use the same link to go back in to complete the application?
Yes, they can use the same link, or they just go to, if they just go to bniconnect.com, Oh, let me log out as Marky Mark here. If they just go to bniconnect.com and they sign in, and let me, hold on, I lost my, my copy paste here of who this visitor was, but all they would have to do is log in with the username and password that they first set up, and every single visitor in the world and every single applicant, and they have access to this right here. It's called the BNI Connect portal. And this BNI Connect portal allows non-members, meaning visitors and things like that, to control their data. So they can update their login, they can change their name and address and all that. They can manage their application. In this case, they would be able to go back and complete it. They can, ask to be permanently deleted from our systems. Keep in mind that, by the way, a lot of members will come to me and say, oh my God, I just logged in and all I see is this white screen. I can't see any of my BNI Connect and I can't renew and I can't. That's because they probably registered as a visitor with a second email address at one point and they're logging in with that account instead of their membership. And that's why they would see this particular screen. So.
Okay. Is it true that the app link goes out if whoever enters the visitor leaves the check in the bottom box asking if they should be sent an email thanking them for visiting?
I don't know if I followed that one.
Yeah, one more time. Is it true that the app link goes out if whoever enters the visitor leaves the check in the bottom box asking if they should be sent an email thanking them for visiting?
Right now, no. The link is not going out automatically because it's a global template right now, and not everybody is turned on yet. We're getting really, really close, but not everybody in the country is turned on yet for online applications. So as soon as we do, it will be part of that thank you for visiting email. But right now it's not. We're really close though.
Okay, great. Martin's asking, will I be able to share this as a recording with other folks on my team? Yes. We are going to fast track this one, Jeremy. A lot of people are asking for the recording. So we will send this out to everybody this evening, probably around 5:30.
Awesome. And can I also recommend, there is a deep dive series up on BNI University right now as well that has all sorts of stuff about BNI Connect. And there is a version of what I just did, just in a more polished recording way up there on BNI University as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. You entered this part of BNI Connect in the Operations tab. Can you show that to us again?
Sure. If you want to go and review the applications, what you would do is, let me sign out as Freddy Krueger here and sign back in as Marky Mark. Marky Mark here. You go, if you want to review your pending applications or see what the status is of them, go to Operations, then go to Manage Memberships, View Pending Applications. Not everybody will see that. Only people that are on the leadership team and membership committee will usually see this option. But it's Operations, Chapter, Manage Memberships, View Pending Applications.
Great. Okay. A couple of people are asking, are we officially done with paper applications?
Yes, we hope. I will say that there's two times that you can't use this online application. All right. One of which is if you're transferring chapters. If you are transferring chapters, you do have to, you can't be a member and have a second application in the system. So the process is either that you have to fully resign from the first chapter before you can submit the application to the new chapter, or we would have to do some type of paper application to complete that process. The second time is with a change of category. A lot of people used to use a paper application to do a change of category because there's no fee required with that. I'm not sure exactly what you're doing in the core regions to file a change of category. unless you know, Steve, I would say to check in with your director consultant.
Yeah, I think that's a check-in with your director question. Okay, where can we find the renewal application?
Renewals are in the same place that they've always been, right here. If I go to my home screen in BNI Connect, right here at the top, it says Renew Now. Just click Renew Now and fill out the renewal application. That's kind of all there is to it.
Okay, Jeremy, I don't know if you know this one, but we are allowing each chapter to have one nonprofit come in to be an iGrade. And so how do we handle them paying or not paying when they apply?
So what I would do at that point is to just have them go through the full online application process. And when they get to the payment piece, still go through, approve them, the whole 9 yards. When they get to the payment piece, contact the regional office. My guess is what we're going to tell them to do is just to choose other, but not actually make a payment, and we'll take care of it from there.
Great. Some people get confused between PayPal and PayPal credit. Can you talk about that?
Myself, I don't know. I think,
okay.
It really
I know
is
a little bit about it.
If you can talk about it, go for it.
Yeah, you can pay for things with your PayPal account. However, if you have someone who is applying who has got a tight budget, they can apply for PayPal credit, and that is a credit line. So they can put their membership onto that, and they'll have 6 months to pay it off without interest. During that time, they'll have to make a minimum payment every month. That's somewhere around $25 or so, just to make sure that the account is active. But it's a pretty good deal for those who might be struggling with some finance, at this time.
Awesome.
There's that one. Oh, I knew something Jeremy didn't. Woohoo! First time for everything. With the fourth quarter waiving the registration fees, will that automatically be 0 on the payment page for the quarter?
Yes. Anybody that has applied after October 1st, that will automatically show a 0 application fee as part of the payment process. If they applied before October 1st, it will have the application fee on there. That's it.
Okay. Rich is asking if this will be available. Yes, we'll send the link tonight. Robin says, when do we actually induct them into the chapter? After they are approved or when the payment is completed?
It should be after the payment is completed, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's the safer bet for sure. Okay, if someone applied a couple of days ago, they still have to pay the application fee even though they haven't been approved. Is that true?
So that part of it, you're going to have to talk to the regional team about that one, about how they want to handle that. I don't have an answer on that. I don't control the money.
Right. Let's see. What is the sequence of steps when choosing the exact classification for a new member?
That part, again, because of the approval for the whole new application process, I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that. There's a couple of different ways that can be processed. So what I would say is we're going to have to table that question and come back to it with a more solid, concrete answer.
Okay. Let's see. Is there a specific process we should give all chapters to have them use when applicants must send a paper check that will assure the minimum number of lost checks, replacements, etc.?
Once again, that's going to be specific to how the regional admins would like to process that one. I'm afraid I don't have an answer to that one.
Yeah, it probably does depend on, I would just contact your director and let them ask the regional director to be on the safe side.
Yeah, my guess is that it has to be mailed directly into Charlotte. That would be my That would be my guess, but I don't know.
Who within leadership can see the status of applications and who gets notified when new apps are entered?
Sure. So here's the notification scheme. Basically, the vice president and director consultant right now get notified after it's been submitted. So there's a bunch of other notifications, by the way, that happen if things start to fall through the crack. And that is, let's say that the application was started but not finished, right? We will send the applicant and the VP a notice after 1 day that it is, incomplete. After 4 days, we'll send the applicant another reminder. Then after 15 days, we'll send a notice to the regional office letting them know that this one's still sitting out there. If the application is complete, but the VP has fallen asleep at the wheel, then we send a whole bunch of reminders to the VP and a bunch of people. To the VP, to the DC, 1 day, 8 days, 15 days, 19 days. After 22 days, we get the area director involved as well. And then we send the VP a couple more notifications. And then at 29 days, we bring the area director in again. So there's a whole bunch of notifications there. Then once it's been approved, but now needs payment, we send several different notifications to the applicant. One thing I'm going to tell you, the reason I'm kind of going fast through this, and these are subject to change. So one of the great things about this whole process is that most of these emails are going through BNI Engage, which gives us a lot of flexibility for both changing the wording of it, but also changing the timing of certain things as we get feedback in the field, from the field, and even from members that are involved in this process. So, keep in mind that use this as a guide, not as a, oh my God, I didn't get it on the 3rd day. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It might be that we changed it to 4 days to just accommodate for a little bit more cushion, or maybe we've changed some of the emails completely. But we are going through all of these different steps. And again, this last slide is just a status of, kind of whose job is it if it's in these various statuses. And I'm happy to share these PowerPoints with you as well.
All right, well, that is going to answer that last question I was going to ask from Nan, who said that very thing. Can we get these? All right.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see, still unclear about when the membership committee interview occurs in this process based on the timeline.
After you've been notified of the application, which is essentially 1 day after it's been submitted, that's when the vice president can pull together that membership committee. The nice thing about life nowadays is that meetings can happen very quickly now. Before, I think, I've been in BNI a long time, and I've been on the membership committee a number of times. I've been the vice president a couple of times, and it was always, okay, we got an application. We'll meet about it after next week's meeting. Oh, we need to follow up a little bit more. We'll talk about that after next week's meeting. Oh, we'll do that after next week's meeting. All of a sudden, 3 or 4 weeks goes by. Now, we can all jump on a Zoom call for 5 minutes, make a decision, be able to talk about it. Hey, all right, you're going to call this person. You're going to call this person. Great, go. And it doesn't always have to wait for our weekly meeting anymore. We're in a kind of a different mindset nowadays, which I think helps to speed this process up, which makes for an even better experience for these new members.
Okay, Arlene says she's the president of her chapter, but has no option on member management. Who do I go to report this?
Not every region. I don't know if the presidents have access to view applications. It's usually definitely going to be the membership committee and the vice president. Sometimes the secretary, treasurers, and presidents, my guess is talk to your director consultant first, and they can verify what the permissions are in your particular area.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, we have had a renewing member in limbo for weeks. They were dropped off our chapter and we seem to get no help to get this resolved. Please suggest what we can do. These are the Cloud City Achievers in St. Cloud, Minnesota.
So go to your regional website. So your regional website is going to be the easiest way to get to your regional website, wherever you are a member. Click this regional website button up here in the upper right-hand corner. That will take you to For me, that's Rhode Island. But let's say that you are in BNI Southeast. And what you want to click on is Member and Leadership Team Resources. And here, where is it? Where did I lose it? Which button is it? There should be a button to submit a ticket. I should have checked this before. I'm missing it. I'm missing the button. There should be a button on here to submit a ticket to the regional office team. Said it's at the top right. Oh, here it is. So basically, any of these, this top one right here, click here for support from your core team. That's the one that you want. And you just submit a request here, and that's where they will go through. So sorry about that one. I had a little brain fart there.
That happens. We are constantly updating these pages, so no worries. So another person is asking about, so Bob says he asked his DC about access to manage memberships and operations. They didn't know how to resolve it. My guess is Bob might be a president as well. I remember in all my time as president, I never had access to this stuff. I was just asked my VP, and it was a lot easier for me because the VP would have to do the work. So there's a little bonus for you as president.
Yep, and if the director consultant doesn't know, you can submit a support ticket to the regional office team right there as well, and they can use that support ticket to go and research it and to see if it's something that is missing or if that's just how the policy is. I deal with a lot of regions around the world, so every region that I work with, from regions in Canada to Singapore to Japan to Malaysia to here in the United States, everybody runs things just slightly differently when it comes to things like that. So I'm not sure what the exact thing is here.
Okay. This one's a little off topic. I found it in chat, but it seems odd. And that says, where do we enter the VP report by the 10th of each month? The prior VP said the link is missing.
The person asking.
What's that?
Is Janine, I think that's...
Yeah, it's Janine.
Janine, are you from Minnesota? I think what Janine is referring to, and to any other Minnesota members out there, I used to help a lot with the Minnesota regions. Great news for you. You don't have to do that anymore. So the core team that you're now a part of has different reporting and levels of processing and things like that. So the one that you're used to doing, that was this big long jot form that was up on the website, you don't have to do that anymore. So your life and job just got a little bit easier that way.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here?
Hey, do you mind if I show them one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, there's a great new feature that was just introduced about a week ago to BNI Connect. And that is that, so you know how you have to email out a link to all your visitors for the Zoom meeting? BNI Connect will do that now for you automatically. All right, so as soon as a visitor registers for a meeting, they will automatically get the Zoom link. But we need you guys on the leadership team to put it in there first. And the way you do that, go to operations. And again, if you have access to it, not everybody's going to have access to it, but the leadership team, president, VP, ST, and definitely the director consultant should have access to go to meeting management. And there's a new button there. Manage online meeting link. All you got to do is put the Zoom link in there. That's it. If you put the Zoom link in there, it will automatically include the link when somebody registers for the meeting. So it doesn't matter if it's a sub, if it's a visitor, if it's a guest, if they register for the meeting, they will get let me see if I have one in my email. I don't know if I do or not. I got to go to Gmail. But they'll get a reminder 2 days before the meeting. Let's see. This is my test account here, but oh, here we go. Thank you. Your registration to visit is confirmed. Hi, Freddie. So when I registered Freddie as a visitor the other day, welcome. You're confirmed to attend this chapter. There is a Zoom link that's included right there. And same thing, it's included a second time. And when they get their reminder 2 days before, it will be included in that reminder as well. Now, it's still a good idea to email it out from the president or whoever separately. The more times you can touch this visitor, the better. But you would be surprised how many emails we get in support from panicked visitors that, oh, I registered for the meeting tomorrow and I still haven't gotten my link. Or I said there was one that wrote in the other day, I registered for my meeting 2 weeks from Thursday and they haven't sent me the link yet. I'm like, well, it's kind of 2 weeks away, give them a chance. But this will ease some of that burden because they'll actually get that link up front. So.
All right. Well, I think that's really helpful. I love being able to have that go automatically to everybody. And then, of course, as Jeremy said, please always follow up just to increase your chances of getting that visitor there. Okay, I think we are just about at our 45-minute time limit. That went really fast. I know there are a lot of other questions. We'll save them all and review them. And Jeremy, I may run a few by you if I can't figure them out for myself. But thanks everybody for being on today. Any closing words from you?
I just invite you, if you'd like more information, please go in and take a look at the deep dive series on BNIU. So the deep dive series on BNIU. Oh, let me show you where that is. Just go to BNIU. And you should be able to do a search for deep dive. Oh, we're in the business booster. So you might have to switch over to BNIU and then do a search for deep dive. And that has all sorts of little half-hour sections on various pieces of BNI Connect. So, and we'll be doing live ones for the next couple of weeks on Thursdays.
Yeah, lots of great info there, which is terrific. So thanks for that. And Jeremy, we would love to have you back now that you have offered to do that. Obviously, you've got a nice fan base here. And yeah, we'd love lots of different, if anyone has any special requests of Jeremy, you can just shoot me an email and we'll see if we can come up with the best possible use of his time. So thanks so much, Jeremy, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Happy connecting.